Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all and y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're going to be speaking on a violent night in New York City. A gang shooting with over 40 shots fired on the sidewalk, leaving 10 people on the ground. July 31st, 2021, a group of men were gathered in front of a barber shop on 37th Ave in Queens, New York. Next door, the Dos Bros restaurant and sports bar was hosting a birthday party, and the shopkeeper was waiting for customers inside of a meat market. It was 10:40 at night. Everything seemed normal, then all hell broke loose. The meat market surveillance cameras were able to capture two masked men walking around the corner from 97th Street and turn on the 37th Ave. Within seconds, they'd reach under their shirts and produce handguns. A closer look revealing both guns had extended magazines. As they opened fire on the sidewalk, unleashing what NYPD said was over 40 shots, two men on scooters can be seen on surveillance video crossing the street and driving up behind the shooters. It was easy to see this was a planned attack with a planned escape. According to witnesses, the shooters targeted the men outside of the barber shop, three of which NYPD have identified as members of the Trinitarios, a Hispanic gang primarily made up of Dominicans that was responsible for the 2018 murder of 15-year-old Junior, who was chased into a Bronx bodega, dragged out, stabbed and slashed with knives and machetes, and eventually bled to death after a case of mistaken identity. But in this case, it was the Trinitarios who were targeted and innocent bystanders who were victimized. After over 40 shots were sent down the sidewalk, a total of 10 people were hit, ranging from 19 to 72 years old. 8 men and 2 women laid bleeding. A 50-year-old man shot by his knee, a 72-year-old woman in the leg, a 40-year-old woman in the foot, a 39-year-old man in the right leg, and a 19-year-old man in the ear. The most seriously wounded was a 21-year-old who suffered a gunshot wound to the stomach. He's believed to be one of the 3 Trinitarios that was shot. The scooters tailed behind the shooters on camera before the men jumped on the back and the drivers rode off. It took less than 30 seconds and they were gone, the gun smoke clearing as 911 calls went out. All 10 gunshot victims were transported to nearby hospitals, and it's being reported they're all expected to survive, but that wasn't even the end of a violent, bloody night. A little over a half hour later, 3 men were chasing a 4th man in Manhattan. He managed to run into a corner store, a gun seen in his hand on the store's camera. He was followed by the 3 other men, one of which was walking with a gun in his hand. The man went behind the counter, gun in hand, as a store employee crouched in fear, but the 3 men walked out, deciding not to shoot him on camera. The man came from behind the deli, walking outside thinking he was in the clear, and gunshots erupted as a group of people were sitting outside. A 78-year-old woman was shot in the hand, a 58-year-old woman was shot in the leg, and a 42-year-old woman was grazed in the arm. 12 bullet casings were found at that scene. Between midnight and 5 a.m., 5 more people were shot in separate shootings in Brooklyn, 2 of those victims dying, including a 32-year-old man who was reportedly shot in the torso while sitting inside of his car. 2 gunmen have reportedly walked up to the vehicle before shooting into it, causing it to crash into the side of the building. A bloody night turned into a blood-stained morning in New York City, a city strict with gun laws, and even stricter punishments that can't seem to control the violence within the boroughs or protect its innocent bystanders who seem to be getting shot more than the intended targets. The only hope for New York City is a cold winter to keep the gangs inside. Now, first and foremost, goddamn, y'all shot 10 people, fired over 40 fucking rounds on a sidewalk, and hit almost everybody in the leg, right? Y'all got one of the guys y'all wanted to get in the stomach. It didn't say where the 2 other Trinitario men were shot, but almost everybody got hit in their legs, and nobody fucking died. For y'all to walk up with 2 guns, one of which looks like a Glock with an extended magazine. I'm assuming they had a 33 round magazine in that bitch. I don't know what the other gun was. You can tell by the shape it isn't a Glock. But y'all showed up with at least 50 to 60 bullets on y'all in the guns, fired a good 80 fucking %, and didn't manage to kill anyone. And I mean, yeah, thank God you didn't kill anyone, because it's more likely you would have killed one of these innocent people. than the people you were trying to kill in the first fucking place. But to open fire, seeing all those people in the background, it shows y'all the mentality of the people today. I mean, it's New York City, it's crowded, I get that. When you play the game Grand Theft Auto 5, right? Try pulling up on somebody and shooting them from inside of the car. 9 times out of 9, you're gonna hit someone you didn't mean to. You're gonna see one of the little other characters fall down. But that's literally what's going on. These dudes are pulling up, shooting, and whoever gets hit, gets hit. I mean, Junior was killed. It was a case of mistaken identity, but damn near every single person that was shot that night was an innocent bystander. And that even fell into the next shooting where they chased the man into the deli. I don't know how you're getting chased and you got a gun on you. You could have simply just turned around, let them walk in, and fired off. Unless you got a fake fucking gun and no bullets in your gun, you're just trying to flex with it. Whatever it was, because even on camera when he went outside and started to get shot at, he still never fired his gun. He just turned around and ran away. And for y'all that don't know, in New York City, you get caught with a gun like the first time, it's like a 3-year prison sentence off rip. Extended magazines, big boy guns, shit that you see down south, AKs, Dracos, AIs. They're not going for none of that in New York City. You get banned if you get caught with that shit. But that doesn't mean that they don't have it, right? Every place has guns, and a lot of the cities with crazy gun control laws like New York and Chicago are still very violent, bloody cities. Now, what's sad about the entire situation though is there's no advice that you can give to anyone to avoid being shot. If you live in that neighborhood or you're around that neighborhood, you can't just tell people, hey, don't come outside. If you come outside, there's a chance of you getting shot or a chance of you getting killed. And the fact that it's like that is wild, but it's like that in a lot of places, a lot of rough neighborhoods, a lot of ghettos, and a lot of people just strike it off as it is what it is. But maybe New York should consider the fact that if their civilians had guns to defend themselves, like the store owners, the guy that was crouched down in the corner hoping he didn't get shot in the fucking crossfire, maybe things would play out a little bit differently. Because I know when I was down in Florida growing up, a lot of the corner stores would have pictures of themselves with guns, either at an outdoor range or an indoor range. It would have a sign saying, "We are armed, don't try any fuck shit," and they would keep guns under the register. Big shit, small shit, it didn't really matter, but they were armed and prepared in case something happened. And people like that, they can save your life if it comes down to it. They have the right training and they can move instinctively when they see something's about to happen. It can make a major difference. And it could also prevent certain motherfuckers from doing certain shit. Cause you're not gonna go in that corner store and you know that them dudes got AKs and shit behind the counter just waiting for a bitch to try to rob something. Now the police were able to identify 3 men as Trinitario gang members. There's no word on who was the gang that targeted them. We'll just have to wait and see if any more information comes out on this case. I mean, New York's been back to back with the indictments lately of all different types of fucking gangs in New York City. Everything that happens in New York seems to be recorded on fucking camera too. So I'm sure we'll hear about this in the future, especially because it's getting nationwide attention. But hey, it's 1090 J. I'm rocking with y'all and y'all rocking with me. Till next time.